new day. My name is Athena Rose, and I'm here at Immigrant Lake again in Southern Oregon. And the sun is going to set here in about a couple hours. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying the water here and enjoying the breeze and enjoying the solitude. You know, there's no one out here right now, and it's really quiet, it's really still. The only creatures around are the bugs and the birds down there in the lake. And yeah, I'm really enjoying my time here, enjoying my life, and really grateful to be in service to myself, to take the time that I need to dive into inner work and contemplation and reflection, and yeah, see how my mind works more, see what my thought patterns are, see what my behaviors are in relation to those thought patterns, and make conscious changes to rewire my brain and to rewire my thought patterns so my behavior changes. And there's nothing like being away from your normal environment that you've gotten used to and habituated in, to help you see where you may be stagnant or where you may need to release some old patterns that aren't serving anymore. So although I grew up here, I haven't been here in a while. I've been in Hawaii, and yeah, I've been on a very intense detoxification this year. I don't know how many of you out there listening have been on a detox journey this year, where you may be changing your diet or your habits in relation to media or cell phone use, or maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you've gone through a relationship detox and you're detoxifying how you relate to others, or how you know, maybe even the people in your life. Maybe you've made new friends and released old ones. And so yeah, it just so happens that it's fall equinox right now, and it's a pivotal time for releasing and shedding, you know, and it feels really beautiful to me to be returning back to Hawaii soon. And I wanted to share that while on my detoxification journey, the 46-day juice fast that I did, and multiple water fasts that I took myself through, and a parasite cleanse recently, yeah, I got depleted. I got pretty depleted, which can be the case, especially for someone that's never really done fasting before. I didn't really understand, you know, what minerals or vitamins I may need, and you don't really know till you try. You know, you don't really know. So my body was not feeling so well, and that's why I ended my juice fast a bit earlier. I planned on going longer. But you gotta listen to your body, you know, and you gotta listen to spirit. So I was not bleeding anymore. You know, my moon stopped coming, and that was hard for me. And so I got kind of discouraged. I was feeling like, oh, maybe I'm done. You know, maybe I'm going into menopause now. And yeah, which was hard for me. There was a grieving that I went through, that I've been going through around that, and then actually coming to a place recently where I was okay with it. Like, I'm okay. Like, I'm moving towards the fact that I'm stepping into my crone years, and I'm a grandmother now, and it's okay. It's okay. You know, it's a loss. It's like that loss of fertility. And I'm sure many women go through this, so I've gotten a taste of it, like what it must be like to not bleed anymore, and having taken that for granted for so long. And so I'd really encourage young women who are listening to this, who are actively bleeding and may not, you know, really have a deep appreciation for that, to really appreciate your fertile years, really appreciate your fertility, really hold it as sacred and dear, and a precious gift, you know, that your womb can bleed, and that you have the capacity on a physical plane to create physical life, to create another human being. It's such a sacred act, and it's not to be taken lightly or taken for granted ever by anyone. And least of all women who have that capacity and who are bleeding. And it's not a nuisance, it's not shameful, it's not inconvenient. It's a time to slow down. It's a time to go inward. It's a time to tap into your creative forces. It's a time to commune with yourself, commune with your ancestors. Commune with the moon blood means communing with the wisdom of the ancients, you know, and creator essence, essentially creator consciousness. It springs forth from a woman's womb, and it's such a power center. Like, it is the center of all power, because that's where life comes from, and none of us would be here without the womb, without womb blood. So I hope that consciousness will change rapidly around this soon, where we really respect women more, and respect the moon blood, and respect life, you know, the sacredness of life. And that is my mission in life. I feel like to help others understand, because I didn't for much of my life understand how sacred life is, and how beautiful and precious it is to be alive, and how each moment is such a gift, and such depth and meaning and potentiality, you know, for anything and everything is available in each moment. So I'm so grateful for that awareness now, and I attribute that to, you know, my ability to awaken in this life, and many teachers that I've had, not the least of which has been a teacher called Ayahuasca. And I'm so grateful for grandmother medicine coming into my life when she did, and for changing me radically, and for waking me up, and for healing me, and seeing my potential for health, you know. And I'm so grateful, infinitely grateful, eternally grateful to the medicine of that vine, and all that she has to offer is just astronomically, you know, weighty in my experience in this life. And so yeah, I remember those times when I was drinking medicine frequently, and I would bleed the next day, because it brought on the moon blood. It was like it brought on that fertility, it brought on that creative power, the creative force, and it was like a cleansing. It was like a cleansing that was happening through my womb, through the medicine. There was like a deep connection for me between that medicine and my moon blood. And it's been a few months since I drank the medicine, but I know that she's always with me, and she's in me. She's part of my DNA. She's part of my genetic code now, and my lineage will, whether or not they actually physically commune with her, will be able to receive that energy, will be able to receive that medicine, because I made the choice to do that for myself. And you know, it's really a calling. It's really a calling. And I heard the call, and thankfully, and I was brave enough and curious enough, and actually, honestly, broken enough, thankfully, to go there and to try something like that. And it was scary. It was really, really scary, and it continues to be very intimidating, for sure. So I don't take that for granted, and I don't take my moon blood for granted. So I haven't bled in about 5 months. I look back at my calendar, and I was grieving that, you know, really grieving that, thinking this was a transitional period in my life, and it was okay. You know, it took me some time to come to terms with that reality, that may be so, may be true. But today I started bleeding again, and I'm so grateful, because it means a lot to me, the power of my womb, and the power that all women holds, and the power of just life, you know, continuing forth on this planet, even though we're so destructive, and we're so unconscious, and we're so habitual in our patterns of abuse, and, you know, taking and not giving back, and not giving gratitude, and not, you know, really, and I do it too. It's just small things like eating food without thanking Creator for the food, or drinking water without thanking Creator for the water. And I'm sorry, you know, and I wake up every day saying my prayers of gratitude, because it's the least I can do to give back to what Mother Earth has given me, my life. And that are experiencing similar circumstances in your life, where it's just a miracle. It feels like a miracle. I feel like I used to be so unconscious and negative and habitual, and yeah, I'm so grateful that I woke up. And it's hard being having a level of awareness where you see so much illness, you see so much grief, you see so much suffering, and you want to fix it. But then there becomes these windows of time when the light pours in and you realize everything's okay. Everything's actually fine. It's perfect the way it is, and we're all waking up. It's inevitable, and some of us are on different timelines, and that's okay. Yeah, it's actually okay. So grateful for that awareness too. When it comes in, helps comfort me a lot. And I'm grateful for my womb, and I want to speak to the sisters in particular, to be really grateful, not take for granted their wombs and their womb blood, and the ability to give birth, and the ability to whatever that is. It may not be a child, but it may be a vision or wisdom. Likely it is. Many of us have so much wisdom to share, but we don't necessarily have ways to share it. And so I use this, I take advantage of media like this, YouTube and social media and whatnot, to share wisdom and to gain insight onto the human experience, and to offer up whatever comes through me to others, to hopefully help them understand themselves better, and understand life better, and find more peace in their hearts, and find more balance in their ways, and find more love to give, more expand their capacity to receive the light. And I noticed that when I'm doing this shadow work, this inner work, where I'm going into these darker places that are uncomfortable and cringy for me, it actually increases my capacity to receive the light. So it's this full spectrum awakening that's happening, where I'm going into these darker shadow places, because I guess I'm ready, and it's always continuing, of course. And then I notice that the more I go into that, the more I'm able to expand my capacity to receive the light and the awareness of different teachings. I may have heard a teaching but not understood it, and then I hear it again. I'm like, whoa, okay, I get it. I get more of what that's saying now. So the shadow work is very important. It's necessary, it's vital, it's congruent with light working, with working with the light. And we should not be afraid of it. We should not be afraid of the Dark Mother. We should embrace the Dark Mother and welcome her, and thank her for teaching us, how to be in right relationship with all aspects of life, not just those which are ecstasiacal or high vibe, or comfortable and joyful and happy, but the parts that are murky and mucky and confusing and heart-wrenching and heartbreaking and hard to fathom with the mind, because it's so painful to think that that's happening or could happen. There's much of that going on in the world. Children dying, and in a sense being slaughtered, and it feels really evil. It's easy to get lost in that, feel hopeless and helpless, and feel a victim and feel powerless. But we do have power. We can witness these things. We can send love. We can send light. We can bring consciousness. We can speak about them. We can pull them closer to the light through our conscious awareness. We can send gratitude for all of life, and the complexity, and the fractalization that happens when we put our attention and our awareness and just show up. Show up. That's the first step. Show up for yourself, and everything's going to be okay. You know? Slow down, pay attention, be aware, love yourself, be committed to your awakening. And once you're on this path, there's no going back. It just continues to unfold. The more you resist, the harder it is. And so don't resist. Allow, surrender, release. Allow it to be. Just allow and be and witness. Be the witness. So may this message find you well. Thank you so much for tuning in. And women who are bleeding, maybe bleeding right now, I encourage you to give back some of your moon blood to the earth, maybe a tree or a sacred plant that you're attached to, or whatever way you want to ritualistically give back to Mama Earth that which she gives you through the gift of your moon blood, and offer it up to the earth with gratitude. You know, it's all about just expressing gratitude. And so I encourage you to do that. It's a powerful practice. It's the womb healing that is available to us all womb carriers. And please feel free to reach out to me if you'd like some support and guidance around that. I call myself a woman's sovereignty mentor and self-love advocate and